Was it just me, or was there an excessive amount of actors that had several warts on their face? Trust me, it was quite distracting. Hey everyone, David here with another movie review, and this time we're going to be taking a look at Jack Ryan, Shadow Recruit. Kenneth Branagh not only directs, but also co-stars in the movie along with the central character played by Chris Pine. And basically, it's just a young recruit who gets inducted into the CIA in order to stop Russian terrorists. And that's the problem with the movie, is that it is a little generic, not only in terms of its plot, but also in its style. This is, like I said, directed by Kenneth Branagh, who directed Thor, who made Thor one of the best Marvel movies. And the most surprising thing about that was the fact that Thor was a movie that everybody looked at and went, how in the hell are they going to make a movie out of that? So since then, I knew that before that, Kenneth Branagh had been a bit of an Oscar nominee when it comes to some of his period pieces, particularly Henry V. I believe that was Henry V. And he also did one of the more faithful adaptations of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein that I had to watch in my English class. So I was very familiar with him. He was also in the second Harry Potter movie. But it wasn't until Thor where I said, man, this guy's probably capable at tackling at different genres. And here he's tackling the spy genre. And I gotta say that maybe he should go back to doing Shakespearean stuff, because I just felt like not only, like I said, the plot was kind of generic for the most part, but also the style. I was kind of expecting for him to use some of those stylistic choices he made in Thor, such as the inclination of the camera and some of the characters and stuff like that, but almost none of it is here. And I guess for the most part, the movie's trampled by its script, because not only is it somewhat generic in some points, but there's also other moments in the movie where it almost insults the intelligence of the organizations at play here. There's several moments where I was like, okay, why would a character do that? This guy is supposedly in the CIA, or these group of people are supposedly in the CIA. Why in the hell would they not at least close the door or the gate or whatever the hell they came in through behind them, so that the bad guys wouldn't follow them to their undisclosed location? I mean, really? But I really do mean it when I say mostly, because there were actually some spy elements in this movie that I thought were pretty cool. Some neat little, I don't want to say gadgets, because that's actually one of the common spy movie tropes that this movie didn't fall on. And I gotta give him credit for not falling on that trope, would be all the nifty gadgets and some of the things that are very far-fetched, like in the James Bond movies. Here they go for more covert affairs, where it's more about hacking into systems and making sure you got the right intelligence and talking to the right people in order to get a mission done. It goes for that kind of angle when it comes to the spy espionage genre, and I really dug some of those spy elements in this movie. And Chris Pine as Jack Ryan himself, I thought he did a decent job. He wasn't anything special, but he's trying, and he's becoming one of my more likable actors to see in movies. And I really appreciated how he didn't make his character another Maverick. He didn't make his character another Kirk. He actually went ahead and took a much more decent approach with Jack Ryan, and I really appreciated his origin. Like, when I saw his origin in the first 5 minutes, I was like, that's a definite good reason for him to be part of this plot. And a couple of the supporting characters are also pretty cool. Kenneth Branagh cast himself as the villain. Not only does he direct the movie, but he's also the villain in this movie. And even though I felt like his villain was a little stereotypical, he's Russian, so he's got the accent, he loves vodka, he loves women, you know, that kind of thing. I still thought that he was pretty intimidating. Now, they did, once again, I said that the only trope that it didn't fall upon when it comes to the spy genre would be some of the gadgets and the far-fetched nature of that genre, like in the James Bond movies, or at least some of the more campy James Bond movies, the Roger Moore movies in particular. But where I did think they crossed the line would have to be the plot device to have the villain get distracted by a woman, while the main guy goes and does whatever he needs to do behind his back. I'm getting really sick of that in these kind of movies, in these kind of spy movies. Please, just stop it. I think by now our spy movie antagonists should be smarter than that. But despite that, Kenneth Branagh was genuinely intimidating. There's this scene where he figures a character out and he gives that character this glaring stare with his eyes, and I'm like... And the character that I thought stole the movie for me would have to be Kevin Costner. This guy was just such a badass. He was awesome. He's calm, cool, and collected. He's fierce. There's this moment where alright, if you've played GTA 5, there's a moment in GTA 5 where I had to switch in between characters because you need to switch one in order to help out another one that got pinned down using a sniper. And Kevin Costner becomes one of those characters, and when he was doing it, I'm like, that guy is awesome. I would really love to see him in more movies. In fact, if this guy is indeed a character from one of Tom Clancy's novels, I would really love to see him in another movie. I would really love for Paramount to take that character and make a spin-off movie, or if there's going to be a Jack Ryan sequel, which the ending alluded to, I would definitely love to see Kevin Costner return. But you know who I would really love to not see again? Keira Knightley. I've never been a huge fan of her. I never really had anything against her. In fact, I never hated her. I never thought that she was bad. I always felt like she was meh, a meh actress. But it was this movie that has the potential to make me dread seeing her in another movie from here on out. She was quite terrible. She was terrible in this movie. She spends the majority of the movie not only being kind of annoying, being a bit of a nuisance in the way of Jack's mission, but the entire movie, she has this look on her face. All while having probably one of the worst American accents I have ever heard. Like, the whole time I was wondering, Kenneth Branagh, you're British, why didn't you just make her character British? Make her say, oh, I transferred from London over to US soil to become a therapist, a physical therapist, which is the character that she plays in this movie. Why couldn't they just write that into the script? That way she didn't have to annoy us, or at least annoy me, with that faux American accent. And Mr. Branagh, you're a talented director, but if your movie gets pushed back a month, like this was, because it was originally going to be released in December on Christmas Day, but it got pushed to January because of The Wolf of Wall Street, please use that time to edit the movie a little bit more practical and much more polished, because not only do you need to work on your action scenes, because if you guys remember the fight sequence in Thor between Thor and that shield soldier out in the rain when he's out on that base trying to get Mjolnir back, and you know how it was very jump cut and you kind of couldn't tell what was going on, especially in the rain and in the dark. And the action sequences here are no exception. It's just jump cut, moving real quick. Oh. But make sure that we can't tell when a scene got deleted, because I'm kidding you not, during the climax, there's a portion where a couple of characters are in one place, and then in the next shot, they're in a completely different area of the city, and I'm like, what the hell just happened? Is everybody watching the same movie that I am? So Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit had some likable characters with some really cool spy elements in it, and I do appreciate the little financial spin they took on the terrorist plot of these villains, but Keira Knightley and her terrible acting, as well as some of the generic approach to the plot, as well as some of the characters and as well as some of the style of the movie, keeps this movie at just being an okay movie. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a 6 out of 10. I would definitely wait for this to hit Redbox to check it out. It's in no means a terrible movie, but there were plenty of opportunities to not only make this a better movie, but maybe throw in some plot twists in there. Because the movie, like I said, the writing was so generic that I was expecting from the trailer to have some sort of twist to where they alluded to this character possibly being the main bad guy, or this character being a potential double agent. I mean, it's the spy genre. Out of all the genres, this is the one where a twist is welcome, and I think that this movie would have definitely benefited from that. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to check out my channel for more reviews, and as always, take care. See you later.